Welcome back. You're watching News First. It's time now for Action TV.
The National Education Commission today granted an audience for parents who say that their children have been aggrieved by the provisions of Circular Number 4 of 2013 issued by the Secretary to the Ministry of Education on the 29th of April. Through this circular, students are denied the right not only to transfer from one national school to another, but also to transfer from one AB school to another school of the same grading. Certain students at some national schools who passed their ordinary level examinations well last year had left their schools in order to follow the advanced levels at other national schools with the recommendation of their respective principals. Although these students have applied to be enrolled at other national schools, they have not even been called for interviews. The parents of such a group of students who have been left with no school lodged a complaint with the Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission on the 3rd of this month. Some of the parents who went before the National Education Commission today had lodged a complaint with this commission too on the 8th of this month, as they were denied the opportunity to meet with a competent official at the Ministry of Education. When Action TV made inquiries, the chairperson of the National Education Commission, Professor Lakshman Jayathilaka, said these parents were called before the commission today since his commission is bound to consider public views as well when making policy decisions pertaining to education. The chairman added that the commission's conclusions on the matters raised by the parents would be submitted to the president as well.
The procession carrying the sacred relics of Lord Buddha and the Maharahatan Theros that are to be displayed at the Sirasa Vesak zone commenced its journey from the Dadimunda Devala in Alutnuwara following religious observances this morning.
The procession, which commenced from the Dadimunda Devala in Alutnuwara, made its way to Hingula, Nadeniya, Mavanalla, Utuvankanda and Molagoda. A large number of devotees flocked to pay homage to the sacred relics today as well. The procession travelled through Kegol, Warakapola, Dannovita, Pasyala and Nittambuwa before concluding its journey today at the ancient Dadagamuwa Vihare in Kalagadihena. The processions carrying the sacred relics will arrive at the Sirasa Vesak zone on the 24th of this month.
One of the main features at the Sirasa Vesak zone in Colombo will be Sri Lanka's first ever LED Vesak Pandal, which is under construction. Now, earlier in the day, News First Nadim Majid toured the Vesak zone to look into the preparations and file this report.
Now this is the entrance to the MTV MBC head office here on Braybrook Place, where the enclosure which will house the sacred relics that will be on exposition at the Sirasa Vesak zone is being erected. Now as you can see, this enclosure will house Sharirika Dhatu and Kesha Dhatu, or hair relics of the Lord Buddha. At the same time, we'll also have the exposition of relics of two of the Lord Buddha's closest disciples, Sariputta and Moggallana. Now on behalf of News First, I invite you, all of our viewers, to come here to the Sirasa Vesak zone to pay homage to these relics and to enjoy the myriad of other attractions that are available here for families, youth, people of all ages. This is Nadim Majid, News First.
Moving on, speaking in Parliament today, Parliamentarian Anuru Kumara Dissanayake pointed out that students face numerous difficulties as a result of the collection of funds when they enter schools to study for the advanced level examination.
I have several receipts from a leading school in Colombo. Here, it clearly states a charge of 4,780 rupees. This receipt is from a leading school in Colombo. I hope the subject minister will provide answers to these questions. Under what legal provisions can money be charged from a student studying in the advanced level, and if so, how much? Also, what measures will be taken to relieve these students of this burden? A student performs exceptionally well and enters a school to study English literature. 950 appointments have been made for English language graduates. Without those 950 appointments, how are the students going to study English literature? So then the school is forced to recruit a teacher by paying more to teach English literature for the advanced level.
වෙරලා ගුරුවරයෙක් ගෙනා ගන්න පාසල් සංවර්ධන සමිතිය විසින් අනුමතයි. නෑ
දැන් ඔබතුමාගේ තර්කයේ ගොඩනගන්නේ ඇති මුදල් වෙන් කිරීමේ අපහසුතාවය මත එවැනි මුදල් අය කරගන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවායි කියන තර්කයෙන් ඔබතුමා එන්නේ. ඔබතුමා ඒක ප්‍රසිද්ධ කරන ආණ්ඩුවේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය තමයි අපි එහෙම අය කරනවා කියන්නේ.
නෑ.
නමුත් විටින් විට කියනවනේ ආණ්ඩුවේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය එක නෙමෙයි කියනවා.
මම දැන් ඔබතුමාගේ ප්‍රකාශය ඉවරනකම් මම මැද්දෙන් පැන්නේ නෑනේ. අනිවාර්ය කළා.
Money cannot be forcibly charged from students. If a student is finding it difficult to pay, he can produce a certificate issued by the Grama Seva office. Then he is released from that burden. If that does not happen, inform me.
විනාශ කරන්නේ නැති තරක් වුණොත් ඇවිල්ලා කියන්න.
ඔබතුමා මීට කලින් ගිය සතියේ මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේදී කිව්වා කිසිම තැනක කවරෝ හෝ පාසලක කවරෝ හෝ කෙනෙක්
Last week in Parliament, you mentioned that if anyone from any school is charging money from a student, to report it to you. Now I have reported it to you. And now you are telling me something else.
ඒ උනාට මේ වාගේ ඇති වී තිබෙන ගැටලු අනුව කියන්න ඕම එකක් එනවා. ඒක සාධාරණ නෑ. ඔබතුමා එදා කියපු එක අනුව තමයි අද මම ප්‍රශ්නේ.
Let's now take a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day, which we selected from amongst today's English newspapers.
News First U reporter Sangit Niranjan filed this report today on the demolition of unauthorized structures on a land belonging to the Kurunegala Urban Council.
Last afternoon, shops located close to the Kurunegala Urban Council were demolished in order to widen the roads in the Kurunegala town. The Urban Council engineer said that despite notifying the shopkeepers to vacate the premises a couple of years ago, they had not vacated and thereby the shops were demolished last afternoon.
News First U reporter Sangi Silla Kurunegala City.
Minister of Petroleum Industries Anura Priyadarshana Yapa, speaking at the Cabinet media briefing held today, said operations at the Sapugaskanda oil refinery, which have been temporarily suspended, will recommence from Friday.
The refinery only supports a type of oil known as Iranian light. However, we have been unable to purchase Iranian oil following sanctions imposed by the United States. We have only received blended oil. We had to close the refinery because oil stocks did not arrive on time. However, we have now received the required stocks and the refinery will recommence operations from the 24th of this month.
Sapugaskanda oil refinery shut down on several occasions. The oil refinery, which was closed due to the lack of crude oil, to recommence operations from Friday. Is it not the responsibility of the authorities to maintain buffer stocks of fuel instead of closing the refinery from time to time?
Well, moving on to sports news now. Injured left-arm pacer Shanaka Velagedra has been replaced with Dilhara Lokuhettige for the upcoming ICC Champions Trophy.
Sri Lanka Cricket announced that due to an injury Velagedra sustained to his ankle during the SLC President's Trophy, he has been replaced by Dilhara Lokuhettige for the ICC Champions Trophy to be played in England and Wales. Velagedra failed a physical fitness examination conducted today. Minister of Sports Mahindananda Alutkamage has approved his replacement, and Sri Lanka Cricket have written to the ICC Technical Committee regarding this development. 30-year-old Dilhara Lokukettige, who last represented his country in 2005 against India, was the highest wicket taker along with Rangana Herath at the recently concluded SLC President's Trophy Triangular Series. An all-rounder, Lokukettige has bagged 6 wickets in 8 one-days and participated in 2 T20 matches. A right-arm fast bowler, Lokukettige will be one more addition to the Sri Lankan pace lineup of Lasith Malinga, Nuwan Kulasekara and Shaminda Iranga at the ICC Champions Trophy in England and Wales.
In the latest from the Sudirman Cup Badminton Championship, the Sri Lankan badminton team failed to qualify for the next round of the tournament following a 3-2 defeat against the Philippines today.
The Badminton Championship is held at the Putra Indoor Stadium in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The Sri Lankan team faced Turkey, Ukraine, New Zealand and the Philippines in this tournament. Sri Lankan's Niluka Karunaratne recorded a 2-0 victory in the men's single today. Pairing up with his younger brother Dinuka Karunaratne, the Sri Lankan duo recorded victory in the men's doubles as well. However, the Sri Lankans lost the mixed doubles, the women's singles and the women's doubles matches, handing the Philippines a 3-2 win. It must be noted that Sri Lankan team captain Niluka Karunaratne has recorded wins in all 4 matches.
The Secretary of the Sri Lanka Rugby Football Union, Rosny Ilias, says that the captain of the Navy Sports Club rugby team and several other players from the team which participated in the concluded Interclub Rugby Sevens tournament have been informed not to participate in upcoming matches. Ilias said that as disciplinary inquiries are underway into these players, they had been informed not to participate in any matches until these inquiries are completed. Reports say that a Navy SC player had assaulted a referee during the plate semi-final against the Police A team at the recently concluded Interclub Rugby Sevens tournament. Well, with that we conclude tonight's edition of Primetime News on News First. But before we go, amateur filmmakers managed to capture the manner in which the tornado that struck the suburbs of Oklahoma City in the US was formed.
We'll leave you with footage uploaded on YouTube by tornado chasers who captured the birth of this tornado. For the News First team, good night.